All right, it is Tuesday, 9:29 a.m. June 29, very close to the market open. I'll be looking for morning panic bounce plays. Kind of had something in the way in the morning, but I'm still here. Well, I'll be looking for morning panic bounce plays or maybe morning spikes with HPIL because it is kind of looks like it might gap down. So maybe I'll do a morning spike, but right now it's just gonna be a watch. Okay, it's 9:38 a.m. PBYA in theory could be a potential morning panic bounce play, but I would trade maybe very cautiously because of the fact that it was only up one day. Although that one day it was up nicely. So it's just gonna be really a watch. It could, in theory, do it, and if I were to consider this, it would have to be a very clean morning panic, like one big obvious volume candle, and this is not the case. If you look back here, I had this, excuse me, this one day, and then it was down the next day. So I probably won't trade it. I'll just watch and see if it does it. I did try to go in the morning for an HPIL buy because it reminded me of PHIL when it had that big red day and then it had a gap down, right? And then it spiked at the market open. So that was my idea with HPIL here because it had that red day and the gap down. Unfortunately, I just had so it looks like Charles Schwab. It's the same thing with yesterday. Had that thing where I couldn't really tell if I was in the trade or not. It was just pending, and I tried like, okay, let me see if I can just cancel like the speed keys and close the order, and it said, I had no securities to sell or whatever. So I didn't really know the case of whether I was there or not. But in theory, I was trying to get in at 6.4, 6.5, and that would have been profitable. It went up to 7.2, but it was very sketchy because it took a very long time to get there and volume was fading. So I guess that was in favor, right? It wasn't until here that we started to have more volume, and then I guess it kind of turned around. But it did turn around here with little volume too. So it did do that spike. It could have been very profitable there. Could have bought at 6.5, I think, and then I don't know when I would have sold. Maybe here at 6.8 because it's kind of struggling right there a little bit. And I like things being very exact. So I traded PHIL for a morning panic bounce play. I bought at 8, right here 80, and that was 935. So why? Because it was like the big volume candle. It seems like it was trying to hold this level. It looks like a max panic where, oh, okay, it's gonna hold 80 and then cracks 80, people freak out, but then it shows that it's kind of holding even though it just got under 80. So that's why I got in at 935 at 80, and then I sold a minute and 20 seconds later. But I don't mind it, even though I didn't hold that long. I sold right at the VWAP level, which is at 8.5. That's something I've been trying to work on. Sure, I could have held better, but I was already prepared to get out like that. I had actually that's when I placed my order. When I got out was 937, so I actually did better. I got in at 935 and I sold at 37 at 8.5. And I mean, it is at 8.8. This thing can continue to run. The basket looks very thin unless it's hidden size. I haven't been paying attention, but yeah, it worked out here. And this was a 7% winning trade, so that's really good. Anything more than like 1% is nice. And yeah, just kind of salty, but it worked out with HPIL. I had that spike that I was thinking about. REPO, this one was nice. I did not see this. It's only now that I've seen this. This thing was a major spike. I bet Tim got in this. This is crazy. WSRC, it's alright. It's kind of, this would have been hard to get into if you asked me. LWLG's at $13. That's nice. It worked out. If anybody would have held this thing overnight, although this thing would have probably shaken a lot of people. DPLS, nothing. I'll probably remove this one. I don't know. It looks like it's going to be a very nice panic. 6.7. Let me just make an alert for DPLS. Can I like edit this and do something else? I can't edit this. All right. Yeah, I'll just have an alert for DPLS. Let me just make sure it's 6.7. Yeah, 6.7. If it were to crack 6.7, that might be like a nice panic. It could maybe mean something is going on. So in that case, I'm going to remove it now and put it in the other watch list. If it's not there already, it's already there. So yeah, what am I looking at now? I don't know. PHIL could do like a lower low, and I'd be interested in that. Maybe the way this one is trading, it might be a higher low, but I might just leave this one alone. Just take things a step back. After all, I kind of didn't have much time to like mentally just get ready to trade. It kind of showed up at 9:28 like that. Yeah, that was a good trade. Again, salty, but I can't get too upset because that was broker execution. You know, it worked out eventually here, but that was totally broker execution. I'll just save a screenshot of this chart. But that's where I'm at the moment. I'll keep looking, but I'll probably just take a small mental break just to really just not try to push myself into something. You know, I'm not trying to you know, no FOMO. That's the main point here. No FOMO. Alright, 9:55. The only setup I am really interested in is RAPO, and that would be if it were to dip towards VWAP or maybe under it or maybe slightly above it. Some kind of a dip towards this VWAP level. WSRC, nothing I want to trade. Don't really want to trade if it breaks out here. That's kind of random because, you know, it's had higher price action before, so it's not necessarily something I'm too interested in terms of trading. LG can keep doing whatever it wants. I guess in theory this one is dipping towards VWAP, but it already did it here, so it's not really the same. But this one, I don't see why it wouldn't spike again, especially if this pump just keeps going the way it has been. Maybe now is going to actually crash. I don't know. Maybe. WISH, nothing. I'm going to remove this one. The whole idea of this one was a breakout towards 15. I might do it eventually, just not right now. So I'm going to remove that. PBYA looks like it's going to have that choppy, you know, morning panic bounce play. Not really perfect. Not. I guess it was kind of clean because it had a big volume candle here, but it wasn't like one massive that just stuck out. At least more considerably like PHIL, so that was not the case with PBYA. Maybe, you know, maybe I'll put up some kind of lower low play out, but I don't know. I'd have to see volume, you know, come back and show that there's some panic. Otherwise, it could just fade the rest of the day, considering the fact that it was only up one day. I missed it. I missed it here. PHIL. It did hold that 80-cent level. I was watching it. I know it's not 80 cents as a sub penny, but it did hold this 80 level. This was a higher low. This is okay. I was expecting a lower low. In theory, these things, so 80 literally just repeated the trade I did. 80 to 85. This one could continue running. You know, it could run till like 10:30. It could get, you know, maybe to 95. Maybe it doesn't. But I've seen a lot of these where we have that morning panic. Makes a low, bounces. I guess this one's a higher low. Sometimes you see a double bottom, sometimes it's a lower low, and then it kind of runs further. I can't explain it. It just runs for more time. Maybe it's just people, some market orders or whatever, just, you know, it's just playing itself out the same way. I don't know. That's the case. So it's just gonna be a wash to see how well this one does, just to learn from me. I'm already, you know, too late. I should have been in maybe at this 82 level. 88 is going to be a very interesting level if it can get past it. Maybe it won't do it here. Maybe you'll do it later. But yeah, that's the idea. PHIL and I think PBYA is just going to be a watch. Really nothing I'm too interested in at the moment. Except for this one. I might consider this one, but I don't like how much it trades. Like, it's very illiquid, so I'll just keep watching, but nothing right now. Okay, it is 10:26. Still watching paint dry, which is REPO dipping towards VWAP. That would be this 43.10 level, 42 give or take. If it dips towards there, I might consider it, but I don't know. It's taking a very long time, and if it were to drop to 42, I mean, that would be right at the highs of yesterday for support. Maybe 40 would be level. Better, not level. PHIL, I feel disappointed on missing this one. I did miss it here. Could have taken a buy at this 80 level, but it was a bit iffy because I was going for a lower low, but I shouldn't have expectations for it. I should just react to what it's doing. And it did eventually. I could have considered it here like a breakout at 86 and then risk VWAP at 84 for a tight risk, and then it got to 90, which isn't bad. Then it put up a higher low, higher than this level, give or take. And it just rips through, and now it's back at a penny. I feel bad for not trading this as nicely as I think I could have. Definitely missed a trade here because I was just having expectations on where I wanted it to go, not reacting on the idea that, hey, this could be a higher low or a double bottom. Was probably too busy thinking about it being a lower low. Although this big one green candle could have thrown me off, but then I could have considered it had it broken like this range right here at 85, and then buy at 86, 87, and then this might have been harder to hold through. But even if I sold for break even or a small profit, I would have felt okay trading it just because I just got that much better at it and I pushed myself to it, but I didn't. So that's something I need to work towards. And then I did crack this the price where it opened right here at 91, and now I got to that's really nice. I just have to do better. I did great in that initial morning panic bounce play. I did really good. If you ask me, I did good. But I should have traded this, or maybe again I should have traded the breakouts. Like right here out of this range, or even again at this 90 level. But I wasn't. But that's all right. I was kind of rushed myself to the market open, so I didn't have too much time to just mentally just set myself there and prepare. But at this point, I think I could be fine now trading something else. PBYA, no interest here, unless it just has like a really strong drop with lots of volume, which isn't the case. LWLG keeps going, that's pretty cool. WSRC, it is dipping towards VWAP, but I don't like this one. This one is pretty sketchy. I'd be interested in this one doing it. That's where I'm at the moment. I guess this one could play out, but I would have liked the other one. I might even trade it, but I doubt it. Perhaps, but I'll definitely look. Alright, it is 10:44, so we did have this little baby dookie whatever drop, and it didn't get close to VWAP. Now at this point, if it kind of makes a drop and then makes a lower high, then it drops more, that doesn't really seem like a dip towards VWAP setup. That just sounds like something that's going to downtrend the rest of the day. I guess here's a trade I had with PHIL. Right, it's just a nice spike, big drop towards VWAP, and then it spikes again. In theory, this one kept going. This is no longer the same, so I'm no longer interested in this setup for that reason. WSRC did do it, I forgot when. Was it this? I don't remember anymore, but I didn't like this one because of where it is on the daily chart. The range isn't as nice. This one did drop to 45 and it got to 49. That's 10%, but it's also not really good volume. So yeah, I'm no longer interested in trading RAPO for that reason. LWLG, I'll be watching this just to see what it does. It might have a panic for all I know. This one I might watch for a panic too and have to be very strong and impressive because it was only up one day. And given the chart here, this thing could spike and then it shows that it can spike and then it immediately drops, so probably not. HPIL, I don't know if I want to do anything with it. PHIL, this one embarrasses me. Makes me feel so bad. So sad, but this one is more ideal. if this one drops towards VWAP, I would be interested in this. Definitely, although VWAP would have to catch up, because if it just drops all the way down here in like 5 minutes, that might be kind of sketchy. So I'll be watching PHIL for a dip towards VWAP. VWAP needs to catch up though. LWLG, it's just going to be a watch. That's where I'm at the moment. Alright, it is 11:04. I'm going to start looking at other things to do, but I was considering this. Okay, so here, it was around here. It was at 199. I don't know. I would say this is a bit crazy, a bit unpredictable, these two big green candles, but hey, it's doing it. So my idea was a dip buy, and I had here at 1999 in theory. The idea was that, hey, this thing is dropping, you know, maybe it didn't drop towards VWAP because it's so strong that it's going to hold itself slightly above it and continue the uptrend. That's exactly what happened. I was interested in it, but you know, it just had a very big spike very quickly, which is impressive. This thing just sketches the heck out of me. Now, I don't know if this is a misprint or some guy with a really bad broker, right? But if this thing actually got that high and then it fell all the way back, you know, that's sketchy, and that's kind of what was throwing me off, because I didn't want to be a part of this, or, you know, the one that I actually traded, which reminds me of this lesson, ADHC, which had this sketchy, this thing actually traded this high, right? And then it came all the way back. Just so sketchy. So that's what this one reminded me of, right? Is this something similar? But I don't know if it actually got that high. Maybe that was just a tick. A bad tick, but hey, it's doing it. You know, I got from that 1999 level, and it's at 23. So hey, it could have worked out. PHIL, I might be interested if it dips towards VWAP, but VWAP does not seem to catch up. I guess too much volume was traded back here. Yeah, too much volume was traded back here for this thing to really uptrend, but it is having a dip. It does make me feel salty. Not really. I mean, you know, I had a sick entry here at 80, right? I just had to hold a little longer. Not the kind of setup I'm going for, but when I was saying that this thing can put up a lower low, higher low, double bottom, and the second one, the second drop tends to work out over a longer period of time. I said 1030. Right here, 1030 was at 109. It got a little further to 47, but I've seen this enough times to start to pick it up. So, hey, it's good to see, if anything, that this setup still works, so I can keep working towards that. I'll save a screenshot of this now, the way it looks at the moment. And yeah, that's where I'm at. I won't be looking at setups anymore unless I see something just absolutely beautiful, which I don't think I'll see anything else, but definitely need to keep getting better. A lot of improvement to make. I did have a nice trade, but could have had a lot more trades. And that one with HPIL 73, it did get to that 72 level from my entry at 6.4. You know, that could have played out, but I can't get angry at that once again because I was a broker. So probably no trades. Maybe no more trades the rest of the day, but I'm going to try to not trade right now. I'm going to start working on my main business. Alright, it is 3:06 p.m. When I first turned back and took a look at the markets, it was right about right here at this 19 level, and I was looking for something like a V-shaped panic in the afternoon. This wasn't really it, and it did have like the big volume candles right here, but it did kind of uptrend and downtrend, so I didn't know if this was like a slippery slope about to happen, which it kind of shows right here, but it, you know, I didn't know if it would make any nice uptrends, and it kind of did. So I tried to place an order. I think I forgot what happened. Just in it, some mess was going on. So I said, you know, I don't have the same stock anymore. But I thought, all right, so I'll just leave it alone. It's all right. I did not see this follow-up drop. I don't know if I would have traded it. That would have been kind of random. I mean, it turned around at the 17 level. It did crack under 17 with that. I mean, 17 isn't really a support level. It just kind of randomly turned around here, although it was a big volume candle here. It had that wick. I probably would have missed this one anyway. And just to recap and look at the others, PHIL, I guess it touched the VWAP, and it got the 101 from 91, but I don't know, those are kind of iffy. I don't like where it is on the 30-day chart. HPIL, I was considering this for maybe some kind of an uptrend later in the day, but I didn't like, where was it? I didn't like this, the big volume spike. People were just buying up shares. It threw me off. In theory, it could hold 80 cents and maybe run the rest of the day. Maybe it could still continuously try more and more throughout the rest of the day to regain itself after it had that gap down. Maybe PBYA is nothing I want. Excuse me, WSRC, not good. I don't know why I always say that one with a W. LWLG doesn't look like anything I want to trade. It could break and maybe run towards 15. Maybe it'll actually break 15 unlike Wish did. REPO, I don't like where it is. MJWL, yeah. So that's where I'm at. I probably won't trade the rest of the day, but I will be looking now that it is roughly 3 o'clock for any kind of V-shape type of morning not morning but afternoon panic. I don't have any charts here, but that's something I'd be interested in at the moment. Alright, it is 7:17 and I'm here to call it off. Overall, I had one trade with PHIL. That was a morning panic bounce play, and that was a 6, almost 7% gain, so that's good. And that I definitely in just getting better results. I still have a lot of room for improvement. I traded this one pretty nicely. I bought at 80, again risked it off the day low, sold at VWAP. Sure, I could have held a bit longer, but I don't mind that one bit. Selling at VWAP is always a nice, for me at right this moment, a really good level to sell at, a good goal. I'm disappointed that I missed out on the lower low. Not the lower low, this was a higher low. This big green candle might have, sure, it could have thrown me off, but I could have considered the buy when it kind of got to the top here, dipped, and then it broke it for real. Again, even if I had sold here because it was taking too long, it would have been a nice attempt nonetheless. And at like maybe 90, and then a sell at 93. Nice run. It got to the high at 1045. Again, give or take 1030. I've seen that to be the top on a lot of these. Some of them continue throughout the whole day, but on the ones that don't, like in this case, a lot of these do get to a higher level at that 1030-ish level. This one was 1045. I need to keep getting better at that. I hope next time this happens, I can take advantage of it and not slack off. I guess it was a dip towards VWAP here, but that would have been kind of random. It looks like it was just trying to turn around and fade. So really no more setups in terms of that. HPIL did do, I guess, a morning panic bounce play, although this one spiked first. And I did try to go for that spike. I feel good that I tried to get in the trade here, but I didn't because of the fact that I had issues. Like Schwab was just giving a delay on whether I was in or not. So seems to be an issue that Schwab does at the market open. Maybe it was just a coincidence. It happened 2 times in a row when I went for a morning spike setup. But hey, this one got from that 6.4 level, the 7.2, and then it kind of dropped here. I don't mind not trading this. This maybe could have considered it. It did get to a high here and then bounced back and forth. It eventually started putting up higher lows and made a run from this 74 to 81 level, especially when it cracked here. So that could have been the setup there. Not too bad, but PHIL was definitely better. PBYA, I guess it did a very choppy morning panic, but I wasn't there for it. Very wicky. I guess it had 2 big volume candles, but it wasn't as clean. Definitely not as clean as PHIL was. So that was the case with that. The rest of the day, not really that interesting. WSRC, just stayed away from this one because I didn't really like the daily charts. Although this one did offer nothing too amazing. I don't really see anything that I would have liked. LWLG keeps uptrending. This one is trying to go for that 15 breakout. I'm not going to trade it, although I will look forward if it does it eventually. You know, a morning panic bounce play, some kind of afternoon V type of panic. That would be cool too. The only issues with this stock is the lack of volume. You know, it has a lot of slippage. REPO, nothing I was too interested in except for a dip towards VWAP, and it kind of did it here, but I didn't like how it was just gradually fading. It wasn't like a nice strong spike here and then an immediate drop towards VWAP. This was a bit too gradual, and I was right to avoid it later. Faded the rest of the day. MJWL, sure I could have taken a trade here, but I was wanting a very sharp V type panic, just like a very clean panic. That wasn't the case here, and I wasn't there when it did it here. Maybe I could have traded it in theory, but I don't mind missing this one too much. I do mind PHIL missing the higher low here, or maybe even the breakout over 90. And maybe a buy right here, risking 90. So a buy 93, risk at 93 to 1 risk reward. So, you know, should go for at least, excuse me, for that 102. Clearly got there. Yeah, that's what I have to do. I have to keep getting better. I'm glad I did this morning panic bounce way well, but I have a lot of room for improvement. Just gonna call it off here. The setups really, with me at least, was definitely PHIL, HPIL. The other one's not really too much. And yeah, that's all I got. I look forward to LW, LG to see what this one does eventually. Eventually it's gonna downtrend. When, I don't know, but overall a pretty good day. A lot of room for improvement though.